How's it going, guys? We got more news for Stellar Blade Bloodrain. This time from an interview over at Inven, a Korean website. Some of the questions are same as the previous video I did, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. But if you want to know, check out my previous video. The link is down below in the video description. You choose the title Bloodrain instead of Stellar Blade 2. Is there a reason for that? The game has very clear narrative connections to the previous title. Naturally, there are parts where you can see what happens to the characters from the first game. However, rather than presenting it solely as a direct sequel, we are crafting it as a complete story in its own right, so that the players encountering the series for the first time through Bloodrain can enjoy it without needing knowing the predecessor, while still deepening the overall narrative. I can't say too much right now, but once you finish the game, you'll find that not only is the character Evie charming, but the narrative surrounding her has become incredibly robust. What did you focus on the most regarding the character design and combat style of the new character, protagonist Evie? We initially set Evie to be shorter and a look a bit younger, but we worked to ensure she fights in a very tough manner and exudes a cool, stylish character presence. When making the first game, I struggled with the character Eve, specifically whether to leave the character as a blank slate for player empathy or to fill her with personality. Seeing the reactions of players who finished the first game, I realized that players can fully immerse themselves, even in a character with a strong, distinct personality. So this time, we are designing Evie to have an even more defined character. For combat, I thought it would be very appealing to have a small structured character engaging in intense CQC. I felt that using the same weapons from the previous game would make it difficult to show something entirely new, so we chose a new approach to CQC. However, various weapons, including reverse blade sword, will be expanded for logical reasons within the context, and the range of player option will be much wider. Are there any characteristic changes to the action system in this title? It's hard to go to detail right now. I will say this. The combat system is evolving so that you can clear the game using only CQC, while still feeling the charm of the previous title. The differentiator is that the character's power is far more overwhelming than before, and each weapon and stance has an incredible depth. We are designing it to offer deeper appeal through stance transitions and combos. You revealed the game for the first time at Summer Game Fest. What did you want to focus on showing in the first reveal video? I believe the city is another protagonist of this game. Many people live in the cities, but I don't think there are many games that properly capture the charm of a city. So this time I wanted to create an attractive, complex city that feels like a place where people truly live. I placed great importance on a city that feels like a blend of various Asian cities like Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan. And I tried to showcase that charm in the first reveal video. What are the biggest improvements or differences compared to the first game? In terms of gameplay, I am prioritizing density, which we couldn't fully achieve in the previous game. This is the part I consider particularly important in terms of artwork. However, we are not building this game on the premise of raising the hardware specs. I believe there's a limit to progress based on price, whether it's for PCs or consoles. Therefore, we are prioritizing making the game playable for users with current generation consoles or current PCs. Since we still need to show differentiation, I believe it's important to focus on the density of certain linear areas and the charm of various cities. For action, we're trying to make the combat in narrow spaces just as appealing as combat in the wide open areas. It's still in the works, but you can look forward to that. What kind of difficulty level are you aiming for? I don't think it will be easier than the previous game. If users who are accustomed to the first game feel it has become easier, wouldn't that be boring? Instead, we're trying to make it intuitive. Initially, I thought we needed to lower the hurdle for users to learn and make it easy to pick up. But seeing various reactions recently, I realized that users aren't actually that afraid of the learning curve. That doesn't mean we're going for extremely difficult direction. It won't be very easy, but we plan to prepare in easy mode from the start so that it can be enjoyed even more fun. While we created the easy mode after finishing the game last time, this time we are thinking about how to make more fun to play on easy mode from the beginning. Currently, we are focusing on making one fun game first. The combat effects were flashy yet highly visible. How are you balancing speed, flashiness, and visibility? I have a very specific philosophy regarding effects. We rarely use baked effects that are pre-drawn to indicate trajectories. If you use those, the effect itself becomes the main visual focus rather than your own movements. So we avoid that, use real-time generated effects that highlight movements without obscuring them. We also slightly adjust the camera angle so you can see both the enemy's movement and your own while playing. Our key goal is to ensure that you can fight by watching the movement and by watching the effects. Stellar Blood is now a series. What do you see as the identity of the IP that can encompass multiple titles? The concerns I had when making the first game continue. Now, those concerns have become more realistic. I think the game will delve more into questions like, what choices will we make when AI can completely replace humans? And what defines humanity? However, this game will not provide the correct answer to those questions. Rather than offering answers to social discourse, I think we will lead the story with a slightly skewed perspective. It's boring to state the answer, and we are making entertainment, not a social commentary game. Music is also essential to Stellar Blade. What direction are you taking for the sound in this title? Once again, we will provide music that perfectly fits the game's situation, rather than just a standard original soundtrack, like the previous game. We are preparing devices with a world where you can naturally enjoy various music. We plan to provide attractive music that is on par or even better than the first game. Music is a very important feature that moves emotions. That's why we see it as a crucial element in our game. The collaboration with Sony Interactive Entertainment was a hot topic for the first game. Now that Shift Up is handling publishing directly, how prepared are you? I think it's very important to have a clear philosophy when publishing. Sony Interactive Entertainment is an excellent platform holder and publisher, but because of that, there are things they are good at and things they cannot do. As a platform holder, I think there are inevitable limitations regarding the user base or region they focus on. We are preparing to approach users more closely and reach out with focus on diverse region. We plan to show what we can do precisely because we are not a major publisher. Will we be able to see playable versions at other showcases or game shows this year? There are no plans yet, however. I believe the day will come when we can reveal such things, if we need to and if gamers want it. Once we work hard and have something worth saying, everyone, please take a look at this. We will reveal it again. A 2027 release target was mentioned. Is that goal still being maintained? It's hard to say right now. However, since the scale of the project is growing, I think we will need some time. As I said, development has only been underway for a year. This is because post-launch support for the first Stellar Blade continued until a year ago. We will develop it without being lazy and without falling behind. We won't waste any time, but it might be hard to guarantee that you'll see it immediately. We will come to you once it becomes a great work. The detail of Evie's costume was also impressive. It felt similar to the previous game, but with a different vibe. What directions are you taking for costume design? While making the previous game, the quality of the costume changed a lot, from the beginning to end. Our developers are now so good that they wouldn't be ashamed to call themselves the best in the world. The designers have also become very skilled. Above all, we are working with the conviction that we have the duty to show users that Korean games are at this level. We aren't just finishing at it looks good. We are discussing deeply how to make it even more attractive. So while I don't have the exact number of costumes yet, I can say in advance that the quality will be much higher than the previous game. Shift Up is also known for its monster design. What concept are you working with for the monsters in this title? Since the concept is fighting in the city, we're trying to design many monsters that appear and wreak havoc in the city, rather than enemies that couldn't exist in an urban environment. That doesn't mean there are no giant monsters. However, we are trying to create more realistic monsters rather than overly absurd elements. There will be an opportunity to talk about this in more detail later. You are celebrating your 30th anniversary in the industry this year. This title feels like a 30th anniversary commemorative work. What are your thoughts and future goals? I am trying to put everything I wanted to share with you into this work, and I value this opportunity very much, because it feels like the right time to do so. That doesn't mean I'm making a game that only satisfies me. My satisfaction comes when others are satisfied. I am a gamer myself. I think the opportunity has finally come after 30 years to make a game that gamers can be satisfied with. A game where they can say, I've been waiting for a game like this. I will work hard to make the most of this opportunity and create a wonderful, truly proud game. So there you have it, guys. What are your thoughts regarding Stellar Blade Blood Rain? Are you guys worried? Are you guys feeling that it's going to be a good game? Or whatever your thoughts are, comment down below. Leave a like and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video.